beginnings in small-time TV casting, folks. Back with the legendary talents of Dionne Warwick as the television program rolls along here for Tuesday night. We'll be right back after these messages. Now here's one of the great talents of our time and who has always been kind to me in interviews. Dionne Warwick is here tonight. She's back with her first album in 5 years. New songs, and the album is called...
Friends Can Be Lovers.
Friends Can Be Lovers. I should know that, and I have it written down here, but I didn't pick it up. Why 5 years away?
I don't know. We did an album for Cole Porter, full of Cole Porter songs. And that took about almost 2 years to do. And it had nothing to do with not getting in the studio and doing it. It had a lot to do with the fact that we had to get inside of Clive Davis's head to figure out exactly what he wanted this album to sound like. And then my schedule is so horrendous. I mean, it's stupid.
Well, what does that mean?
I mean, I'm home for maybe a week, and then I'm gone for 5, and then I come back in, and that's the way we had to record the album. In reality, it would have been done in a matter of maybe 2 weeks, but it took almost 2 years to complete it. So that's 2 of the 5. And then the period of time that the album was out, I've been literally without an album for almost a year and a half now. And it was time for a studio album. Now,
I notice in the liner notes here that your cousin Whitney Houston joins you on one cut in the album.
Yeah.
Was that done recently, that cut?
Yes. It's a brand new song.
And how far away is cousin Whitney from giving birth?
Cousin Whitney should be delivering in about another 10 days to 2 weeks most.
As I told you, I saw her in The Bodyguard. I thought she was wonderful. Her talent is just enormous.
Yes, it is.
It's just enormous, as is yours. Really, you both have great gifts from the Creator, and
that's for sure.
It's awesome to hear her sing this song, "I Will Always Love You," in this picture. It's just a wonderful piece of work.
Magic.
Yeah, it truly is. It truly is.
She delivers it because she believes it, you know, and that's the beauty of her talent. As we were talking earlier, she's a very focused and dedicated young lady who uses her God-given talent to please others. So I'm very proud of her.
What did you do at the inauguration? I know you went back to the inaugural of President Clinton.
Yeah, I did what you're doing. I was a reporter.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Who were you working for?
I was a correspondent for Entertainment Tonight. And it was a ball. I had the best time. I have a newfound respect for you guys, I'll tell you that.
But you had a camera crew and you went out and...
a camera crew. And it was so funny because people kept saying, well, it's not fair. I mean, you're going to get all the interviews. And I said, well, you know, these people are my friends. And the way I did it was, you know, obviously I'm standing there with this crew, and everybody that walked past would stop to embrace me and say hello, and I stuck a microphone in my mouth. Like, hi, I'm doing...
Yeah, right.
What are you doing? You know, but it was a ball.
And what were some of the things that you covered? Did you go to any of the dances and stuff?
All the balls, every one of them. I mean, by the time I got home after the final evening, after the Arkansas ball, I was ready to crash.
Yeah,
I mean, it was like...
I know, it's tough work.
It's really, like I said, I do have a newfound respect for you all. And I don't know how frequent I would like to do that kind of thing.
Did you get to meet the President and Mrs. Clinton at all?
I know them.
Oh, you do?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I'm very proud to say that I kind of turned everybody on to Bill Clinton.
Is that right?
Yeah, before he even decided that he was going to declare himself and get in the race.
You know what I want to know about him? He's always smiling.
Yeah.
I don't know how you see, like, if you just hold your mouth relaxed, mine doesn't wind up in a smile, but his does. He's...
Well...
I can't... it's hard for me. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I think more than... It's not so much... I think it's more of a glint that you get than the true smile. He is... I found them, the both of them, to be just plain old-fashioned good folk who are genuinely concerned about others, have made it perfectly clear that these are the things that they want to approach and straighten out. You know, what I find fascinating about our president is that he's our age group. The man has lived what we're trying to clean up. So he does have more than a clue as to what needs attending to. And he's going about getting it done. And I like the fact that he's asked me and everybody else in the United States to help him do it. That's what this thing is all about, isn't it? The United States of America.
Yes, it is. That's exactly right.
So I think...
Except, I mean, our taxes are going to go up pretty good,
hey,
you know.
we knew that from the onset.
Yeah.
It is no secret. It's no surprise. And I think the polls kind of let you know that we're willing to make those sacrifices if we get this country back together. And I think with those sacrifices, as we have had to do throughout our lifetimes, it's the only way we get to another point.
But woe is them if the increase in revenue is not used to reduce the deficit, but instead is furthered away on things that aren't important, as happened in the...
I don't think you're going to really have to be concerned with that. We got a brand new outlook in the White House.
Let me ask you a question about the president departed George Bush. Do you think he was a man who didn't care at all about the American people?
Oh, I would dare say he did not care. No way is it that anyone who has that particular office or is a citizen cannot care about the United States. I just think he got a little prioritized, and they were not the priorities that we wanted him to have.
I remember interviewing you last year after the riots in Los Angeles on radio, and you were very angry that night.
Yes, I was.
And you took on Whitey and White America.
Yeah.
And you didn't say much about something that you've been talking about recently in the press that I'd like you to touch on tonight. And that is the need for African Americans to help each other.
You got that right. You know,
I didn't hear you saying that night, and I didn't challenge you out of respect for you and for your beliefs.
Yeah, no, I don't think that that was a night that I don't think I needed to say that. I think it was obvious that in order to clear up the problems that are laying in front of me every single day of my life, we're going to have to take the reins ourselves. The problem is, Tom, and it's just one of those problems. What you see, you will always see. I don't have the luxury of being a Jew and white and walking into an Italian neighborhood and then all of a sudden becoming Italian because I look like the Italian. I'm always going to be a visible person. There have been a different set of standards for African Americans from the very beginning. Nothing's changed. There are still standards. Opportunities, we speak so reverently of opportunities and how free they are and how abundant they are, and they're open for everyone, which is quite true. But there are exceptions. There are still places where you can send a white couple and a black couple to the same apartment building, and the white couple will get the apartment, but the black couple will. There are certain...
Yeah, but I dare say not to the extent that it happened 30 years ago in this country.
No, yes. It happened just recently.
But I say not to the extent that it happened. Of course it will happen.
Oh, it's happening every single day of our lives. It's just now that we've gotten a little smarter about it.
Okay, I got a hard break I must do here, okay? So we'll continue with Dionne Warwick, and if we have time, we'll get to you on the toll-free exchange here at 800-745-2622. Dionne Warwick's new album is out now. It's the first one in 5 years. It's called Friends Can Be Lovers. Terrific songs, love songs from this great talent. We'll continue with Miss Warwick and you on the phones after these messages from our sponsors.
Come and get it, come and get it.
We're back with Dionne Warwick, and this is not an argument. But you know, when I worked in New York, I was there from 74 to 86. And I used to walk to work, and I'd see groups of people going into restaurants. You see men and women, black and white, going into restaurants. And years ago, I lived in Savannah, Georgia, and I said to myself, man, it has, you didn't see that, you
Yes.
know. And you wouldn't see that in the 60s. Then I watched one night, they played, at ABC, they played news from television stations around the country so that other stations could see what was being done in different markets, and they played Savannah, Georgia one night. When I worked in Savannah, GA, the only job that a black man could have was porter in the television station, janitor. Here they come on, and they've got a black guy and a white woman anchoring the news in Savannah, Georgia. I said, man, don't tell me it hasn't changed. I know it's not perfect. Okay? And then I saw, you know, I worked in Atlanta, Georgia when Martin Luther King couldn't get lunch at Rich's department store.
Right.
And not that the lunch was that great there anyway, but he couldn't get lunch.
Did
I'm
I
going to get
say
beat
that?
up for a bad lunch. And here I see the Reverend Jesse Jackson, a black American man, being nominated, albeit symbolically, for the presidency of the United States in the heart of the old Confederacy. I said, don't tell me it hasn't changed. We have made some progress in this country. Great progress.
Yeah, well, that's your opinion.
Don't you think so?
I don't think we've made enough progress.
I didn't say enough, but when do you give the country credit for making any progress?
When I am looked at, as Martin Luther King said, for the content of my being as opposed to the color of my skin, then
Well, I look at you that way.
you're probably one of very few. I mean, you can't use yourself as a criteria. We're in a very special environment called entertainment, the world of entertainment, where it is not really about race within our own confines, because we depend upon each other too much for that. When you walk outside of that, when you become Jane Doe or John Doe, American citizen, that's what I should be. But I'm not.
Where?
I'm considered less than, and across the board.
With respect, ma'am, I think you're being too tough on yourself.
No, I'm not. I'm
Really?
really not. I wish I were. I wish that were true. I wish I could say that, but it's not true.
How? Where?
Any way you look. I mean, although celebrity does get you a certain permission to do certain things in certain environments. But if I were just Dionne Warwick from East Orange, New Jersey, working 9 to 5 every day, doing what I want to do, there are certain privileges that I'm afforded as a celebrity that would not be afforded as just Dionne Warwick.
I think, and not to the same extent, the same is true for all of us who are people of celebrity, no matter what the color of our
Oh,
skin.
we're definitely given priority, and which I think is kind of tacky in most cases too, because there are a few of us who will take advantage of that. But what I'm saying is that if Tom Snyder and Dionne Warwick were anything other than the personalities that we are, and not recognized for the personalities that we are, there would be a distinct difference made. And it's just the way it is, Tom. I mean, I wish I could change it like that, but I can't. It's going to take an enormous amount of time. And when we get to the point where we can understand that the color of my skin has nothing to do with the content of my being, that's when it's going to be better. That's only when it's going to be better.
And is it not also true that that can be said of Caucasian America and the perception of the African American? That we too should be identified by the totality of our being and not by the color of our skin.
It's so
that
true.
we are not all racists, that we are not all...
I never
No,
proclaimed that.
I'm not saying you. I'm just putting it out there for people who are watching.
Oh, without a doubt. You know, it's like the rotten apple in the barrel. You know, it's the same, if we have to use a comparison. You cannot judge a book by its cover. You got to turn the pages to see what's inside of it. That luxury it happens to be afforded to most white people and not afforded to most black people. It's just the way of life. It's unfortunate, it's tacky, it's stupid, it doesn't make sense to me, and I wish it would go away.
Well,
but it's not going to go away because we say we're going to have to do it.
Yeah, I really do not share your belief to that extent, but I may be just terribly sequestered in the entertainment business where there isn't an awful lot of that sort of nonsense, or else I'm just horribly naive.
Well, no, I would dare say you're not naive. You're a very knowledgeable and with it person. You happen to stay on top of things. I think your heart is just like mine. yearning for the time when we won't even have to have these conversations.
Exactly. What are we wasting?
You know?
Let's do some fan mail here. Here's Jim in Syracuse, New York. Hello.
Yes, Tom.
Hi, Jim.
How you doing tonight?
Fine.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% what you're saying there, but we are off the subject. I guess you're on entertainment here. Miss Warwick,
Yes.
I just wanted to know, when you record a song in the studio, do you know when you have a hit on your hands before it hits the record shelves?
Oh, I wish I did.
Everyone would be a hit,
I
Jim.
wish I did. You know, there are times when you feel that, yes, this is really the one. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I wish I could say, that's a hit. Then I'd stop singing, I'd put a little ruby here, and I'd sit in the corner. And I wish there was a way.
Thank you,
Tom?
Jim.
Yeah, one more suggestion for you. Maybe you could have Rush Limbaugh and Jesse Jackson on the same show. That would make a real...
Well, you see, I don't want to start a shouting match here, and not that would it be a shouting match, because Rush and Jesse, in their own ways, are both respectful and respectable people.
Yeah,
you
sure.
know, I'd like to put Rush on, but and the Reverend Jackson, but the problem is both come with agendas. I mean, sometime I would like to interview the real Jesse Jackson and get beyond the rhetoric that he uses and just talk about his life and what he does. And the same with Rush Limbaugh. I'd like to go through a day with Rush Limbaugh and what he does and how he gets from place to place without getting into the rhetoric of how terrible Clinton is and how great the Republicans are.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to know how Jesse's making out with his hunger strike. You know, he's supporting
know.
the Haitians in Florida, and he's supposedly on a hunger strike with them. I wonder if he's still honoring that, or is he, has he had a meal in the last week? Or
Well, if Jesse committed himself to it, he's committed. He's still on the hunger strike.
supposedly only water. I'd like to
well.
see how he's making out on that one.
Well, by the way, Jim, has he indicated how far he will go with this? I mean, he's not going to take it to the extent that the late Bobby Seals did, is he?
Well, from what I read in the USA Today is that he was going to stand firm until the President Clinton administration acted on the Haitian problem in this country and allowing them into this country.
Let me check on that and give you a report if I can tomorrow night. Jim, I'm down to time. Thank you for joining us, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, goodbye. Dionne, thank you for your time. I wish you all great success with Friends Can Be Lovers. It's on the Arista label, CD and audio cassette. And I hope our paths cross again, and I hope that we're closer to the day when the conversations that we have out of great love for our country and our fellow man won't have to be had. Thanks for coming over tonight,
Thank
my
you,
friend.
sweetheart.
God bless, okay? And best to your cousin, okay?
Thank you.
Do we know if it's a boy or a girl?
It's a girl.
Fabulous,
Yes.
fabulous. All right. Thanks for watching, folks. Bob Berkowitz is next with Real Personal. I'm T.S., and that's all from Burbank at this time.